Hey everyone, I kind of want to go through all the lists for WGP Tokyo and maybe Ultimate, just to look at some of the new decks that came out, or some of the new techs that came out from the new set, because yeah, new set, new techs, new ways to play. So I'm going to go through most of the lists. For example, I'm probably not going to go through like the second and third Heart Lulu list that I've seen, or like Virgila, because fundamentally there's just like no changes to those lists, maybe very, very small changes. And things like, I guess, like Bang Dream and in like Buddy Fight, those really don't go through many changes at all. So I'm not going to go through that, but for all the other new lists, I'll take a look at, and we're going to kind of just quickly talk about maybe some of the changes that have happened to it, and yeah, just kind of go through there. I'm going to focus more on WGP Tokyo just because it's like the official tournament. While for Ultimate, yeah, I'm just going to be very, very hard going through the newest stuff, right? The newest stuff. So sorry all the Virgilers out there. So let's kind of get started with WGP Tokyo. So we're gonna go through top 8. We're gonna go by rank pretty much. This is the winner list for Prison, and I think Prison had a huge showing in Tokyo, taking a lot of wins, and a lot of the decks are running very, very different things, but with a very, very solid core. So what I mean by core is that we have the Riffle Royale, the Muna, the security upgrade. None of these things have changed. These are just like really, really good cards that just work with the idea of like the old Pure Light builds, and they just offer like plussing, advantage, consistency. Getting into Pure Light, for example, upgrading to Pure Light, really good. And then we also have the Citrus, an insane card. This is basically what the entire deck is kind of built around in a way. You know, able to get advantage, energy blast outlet, as well as a restander. So this is your prime form of one of your prime forms of advantage and restanding. So multi-attack, so that's like the pressure. And then we also have just the Ace unit that quite a few people are running. The new cards that people are putting in is just your Nuclear Light. This is your replacement for Seraph White, right? And yeah, it has the nice effect where it can kind of stop your opponent's on-call autos from working. But I think the main thing is just that it doesn't require CB for any of its abilities, only requires Soul. It will always consistently get one card into your prison. So only one, not two, but it can be from the board. And if there is no board, it goes from the drop, and it still has your triple drive and all that stuff. And it works on the rear guard, and it goes into Soul and draw a card. So it does a lot of things. The other new card is the Ryra. And this one is just on play. You can put a card from your opponent's drop into your... well, your opponent picks a card from the drop and you put it in the prison. And you can see you want to draw. So that's cool. Also has extra shield. It can basically get up to a plus 15k shield, depending on the number of cards in the prison. And then it was also like a 15k beat up. So it does a couple of things. It does replace other cards. I think the main one was the one that just was able to Energy Blast 3 and put in either Prison's a card from the hand or Prison's 2 card from the drop. But everyone's running this because extra power and extra defense is really good. And that's basically the majority of the changes. If you look at the ride line as well, the new ride line is just you run the clear line and the grade 2. The new grade 2 is insane because you get to draw with the card. And also you get to prison a card from your opponent's hand. So it's a huge swing, right? You draw one, they -1 temporarily because they can technically get the card back. The interesting part here is that the winner was playing the old prison, which comes up quite often because the old grade 1 actually can search for any prison as well, but he's specifically running the old prison. The main difference between the old and the new prison is that the old prison soul charges 3, while the new one doesn't. The new one gets to soul charge one card every turn when your opponent calls something out of the prison. So if your opponent calls like 5 cards out of the prison, you get to soul charge 1. Hard once per turn, basically. So in terms of your amount of cards that you soul charge is less, but technically speaking, your soul blast expenditure is not lower than before because although like Clear Light replaces itself because it can go into Soul, right? other things like your defensive cards, your Dairy Violets, your Melting Hearts, all that still require soul. They're incredibly powerful defensive tools that you want to play. Muna uses soul. It guzzles up soul like crazy because you want to just convert all that soul into advantage. And if you play a very aggressive game, you really need to use that, right? So in terms of your soul expenditure, you are still using a lot of soul. So there is validity to running old prison, which I think is legit. One of the things that I was thinking when building the decks, like some of the preliminary decks for prison, I was like, do I really want to play the new prison? Because fundamentally they're the same. The new one doesn't require you to rest anything when you play it. But the old one is just pretty good. You know, the old one's still the extra soul charge is pretty good. So in terms of like playing the old prison, the new ride line lets you draw a card if you like have the prison in hand. The old one doesn't. But then you kind of get cards back with the new grade 2, so it's not the worst thing in existence. Also, your new grade 2 requires a soul blast too. So yeah, the soul expenditure is still relatively there. And yeah, this one is just playing the Shrouded in Darkness Regulus order. But I guess the interesting here is no Melting Hearts. I do think Melting Hearts is an insane tool, but it doesn't really contribute to the aggressive nature that you can play with this deck. If you look at how this guy played in the VOD, you can check out the commentary as well. He played this deck very aggressively. He looked at your opponent and they go, oh, you don't have any retire? Or I'm just going to put down my hand and then just turn everything sideways. So like Melting Hearts don't really add to that kind of gameplay. Dairy Violets do. So yeah, playing very aggressive. One Bobble Mine as well. This is something that I was also thinking. Well, you have a bit more Counterblast expenditure and you use a lot more soul now. Well, not a lot more, but you use soul and Bobble Mine kind of fills both the slots. So if you have that extra flex slot, you can just stuff in a Bobble Mine and that kind of works too. But yeah, that's kind of the new prison. It's not the new prison, but it's not the end. It's not all the new prisons, right? He's also running Soul Fronts. There's a lot of prisons in the WGP that we'll kind of take a look at. The second place deck was just a normal Manurva list. Nothing really changed with this, I don't think. So it's just a quick, yeah, this came second place. Here you go. Manurva running one of the old Manurva in the main deck. So I guess that could be a bit different. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty much the same. Third place is the Chris Rain list that a lot of people have been talking about. This is the only Chris Rain list that made top cut, by the way. So if you saw the Chris Rain plays in the VOD, it's just this guy. It's just the same guy. Fortunately, lost due to probably a pretty big misplay, but it is what it is. A lot of things go on in the day. It's a stream match and all that. So yeah, shit happens basically. Let's put it like that. The new Cadenza is pretty good. It's similar to the old one, but it has extra skill, which is you get to bounce an extra card from your hand, and your Divine Skill doesn't need to call, needs to bounce back everything. You get to pick. And also the new support card is insane. So Almel basically is a creator card, right? It's on play, Soul Charge is 1. It gets power. It gets to CB on draw and gets even more power. Power is the main thing that I think Chris Rain was lacking before, because you can draw. Drawing's good. You get 4 attacks. That's good. But I guess just being able to close out the game has been an issue. But some of these new cards help that out, as well as just some of the other additions like Almel, just making everything even more consistent. You have like a second effect that lets you Energy Blast 3 if you play an order, just call out a grade 1 from your drop. So yeah, you call out your shells and all that. Works like a charm. Okay. The other cards I kind of want to take a look at is just some of the grade 1s, I guess, they add to the deck. So big focus on Rekius. So 3k plus 10k. Because you can just bound your whole board, run this card to get extra power. This is how you can kind of just break through boards. They don't run any of the grade 1 guard restrict from set 1 because I guess you use a lot of energy, right? You're going to be energy blasting 3 for your Rochelle. It's this one, and then you're going to likely energy blast 3 for your Armel, just like core cards and get advantage. So yeah, like if you look at it that way, no time for other energy blast. Running this grade 1 that is just basically an extra power beater. So yeah, just power, make a lot of it. Watch your opponent run out of PGs, and call it a day. Yeah, and then Yuikas, you can be very aggressive with that, bounce boards, clean it up. But I guess the other rest of the deck is just pretty much what you would expect. A lot of one-offs, 4 high fives, 5 regulars, just to build your board. Only running one copy of Tomana. Usually, I think old Christian builds run many of her, but because you have the Armel now, you don't really need too much of that. You just need to set up your board and call it a day. But yeah, the rest of the deck is pretty much Christian. It's just, yeah, 4 Franchettes, 4 Rochelle's because key pieces of the deck, and that's pretty much it, right? Pretty cool, I have to say. Really like the Christian that did really well. All right. 4th place was the Odium, also kind of unexpected. Some of the new changes they add was just this, I guess this new Steam, is it? It's not a Steam Maiden, but it just, yeah, it gets extra power, and then gets extra shield. So very, very standard. It is a double R. Wow, I didn't realize. Yeah, extra power. But yeah, I guess the rest is just same as before. There's this new card as well from set 10. Makes, I guess, the deck a bit more consistent too. And then yeah, Avarice is, I mean, is this Colossus? Is it Colossus? Yeah, Gear Colossus from set 7. Rest of it really hasn't changed much. More surprising to see Odium make it to even top 4. Probably had a really good run, right? 5th place was a Heart Lulu. Well, top 8. We're entering top 8. Nothing. I mean, Heart Lulu doesn't really change much. He ran a 3 Avarice. Yeah, there we go. And then also another Manurva list in top 8. So this one didn't run any of the grade 3 Manurvas, but is pretty much like the final form of Manurva list, having the Nebula Knight Order just to kind of do well with it. And then here is another prison. So this one is one that came in top 8. There are some different changes. This one is running the Energy Cycler here. And then also only 1 Dairy Violet, no Melting Hearts, going Forbiddle instead. Forbiddle's actually like okay. You don't search for the grade 4, you can search for the Seraph White, but this guy's also running the dragon. So this is the discard for Stride Dragon, but I guess you get to draw 1 from that. Also on Ride deck when you discard for grade 3. But that does have shield, so I guess if you draw it, because you might have a Pure Light in your hand, you get to use it as a shield, right? Also soul charges, I guess. So that's one way you can build soul. This guy is running the new prison, so new grade 1, new prison, so you don't generate as much soul. But because of that, some of these decks are now running this Blitz Order, and I guess this works well with the dragon, because it's a grade 3 and this calls grade 2 pluses, 2 or highers to the Guardian Circle. So kind of, I guess, an interesting kind of tech. But I feel like if you're going out so much just to kind of build soul, you might as well just run the old prison, right? But yeah, the rest of the other stuff, the core stuff is still there, and you can see, soul fronts and yeah, citruses and all that. And then lastly, the last one in top 8 is just another prison here. This one is running old prison as well. So far we've got 2 old prisons, 1 prison and 1 new prison in top 8. Just running draws, so not even soul fronts, not even running Elder Breath. That's a bit scary, right? A bit scary. But again, as you can see, because you don't have that much soul anymore, or your soul expenditure is a bit higher, your melting hearts are not there, so they're running the other this blitz order instead. But to be fair, like, I guess you're calling like one of this and something else, just because this has, like, this is the beefiest shield card that you have. But then you also have things like, Dairy. I guess you call Dairy Valley, right? I think it works. It's when you put to the Guardian Circles, like, I guess it kind of works like that. But he's only running 1, but the rest of the core is there, and then also one of the Valtroses, which is okay, interesting. Then moving on from top 8, we're going to take a quick look at the rest. We have Fern. I mean, pretty cool to see Freerin making a top. But yeah, just pretty standard list on what you'd think for a collab deck. Run your collab stuff, call it a day. Run 8. I think most of these decks run 8 events, or at least the Fern and the Freerun one runs 8 events. Those are just 8 Zol tracks. So yeah, cool stuff. And then youth bags. So youth bags didn't make any top 8s, but I think the new youth stuff is very important because they just replace the generics with even better cards. Okay, so the main thing is that you have this card called Edenvade. And this is basically Teeth Felt on drugs. So when you place it, you can counterblast 1 and look at top 7. That's a lot. That's a lot of cards. And then you can pick one of the following. So if you reveal a Youthberg, you add it to hand. And then if you reveal a non-Youthberg card and a non-Edenvade card, you may call, and it's a grade lower than your Vanguard, you can call it onto an open space on your board. So you can't replace cards. It's very, very important. And then the second effect is that when it attacks, you can soul blast 1, and then if your Vanguard and bind, I think for each Vanguard and bind zone Youthbergs, this card gets plus 5,000 for the whole turn. So you attack, buff it up, bam, there it is. This is probably a restand target. So this card is a pretty insane buff for Youthberg. You don't need to run Teeth Felt anymore, but you can still run a pile. Isn't that crazy? You also have another grade 2 that got released. This is kind of your Maple replacement. So when you ride a Youthberg during your ride phase, you can Soul Blast 1. If this guy's in the drop, you can Soul Blast 1 and then call it. You can't have other cards. You can't have the same card on the board. So yeah, it's literally just Maple. And then on the rear and Guardian Circle, it gets extra power as long as you're a Youthberg. So this becomes like a 15k beater, which... like pretty straightforward. But then if your bind zone has the youth, you get another 5k, so it's like a 20k beater. And this is active on your opponent's turn, so this is just like a 20k guy sitting there that can't be, well, it can be attacked. It's very hard to get rid of, but it's also a 10k shield. So yeah, that's extra shield, kind of what you need when you're Youthberg. Extra cards that come out for free, what you need to, and I mean, power is always good. But then the rest of the deck is just the same. Carinos, your dog, Selgions. There's not a change. Nibblenite order. Yeah, there it is. The rest of the party is still there. But just these 2 cards just really good. Next is another prison. So I think you might be getting sick of seeing prison, but you can see this is in top 32 or top 16. This one is just running the new prison. With 1 Melting Heart and then 3 Dairy Violets. So a lot of the soul there as well, but none of the soul charging stuff. And then the rest of the core is still remaining the same, but we have one of the other Blitz orders too. Then next is another Youthberg. So as you can see, the 2 new cards added in with this, the rest of the old party here too. And then after that, we also have another Youthberg. Same dealio. This guy is running some other tech though. So 2 Dissection Angels, and then 1 of the Persona Shields. Probably remnants of the old cards. And then we also have another Seraph Clearlight. Only 2 Mooners here because I guess running the new prison, they were being a bit more conscious about their soul, but also running some of the grade 3s. Some grade 3, only 2 Clearlights, some Brutal Minds to build more soul as well, right? Another prison. This is 2 Dairy Violets and 2 of the 2 Blitz orders. Non-melting heart blitz order. Some of the grade 3s. No regulars. Oh no, there is one. There is the. I guess they're running ladder because it builds soul. Can kind of protect the board, so when you go full aggressive, you can just protect it for 1 turn. But it does build soul, so I can kind of see why they want to play it. And then another youth, right? It's so popular. Youth has been pretty popular. I think people are talking about Unison. This is the Unison order because you can like bind. Can bind a youth, right, and then it buffs up your Edenvade. I saw that on Twitter, so it seems kind of interesting tech. We have a Bavsagra. So I know Chris was talking about his Bavsagra and how it's like a hybrid. This one is not a hybrid. In fact, it is the most plain Bavsagra that you'll see. My trick moons got restricted, so I'm just running 3 of this grade 1. And that's kind of the main changes. That's pretty much it. So this is the most, I guess, generic Bab Saga you ever see, but I think there are definitely some room for changes. Well, let's put it like that. A Virgula, so I'm just adding this Virgula just for visibility, but this is your pretty bog standard Virgula. It's the most standard Virgula you'll ever see. I think you can run this. People are running this in English already. And then another clear light build here. So this one's running a 4-bit all build with the new order, the new prison. Also running, yeah, some of the old grade 3 cards, just so that it works well with the 4-bit all, because you're usually not searching your pure light with the 4-bit all anyway. But you have some decent grade 3 targets that you might want to call out to put on pressure, and then just like one Dairy Violet. The rest of the core and all that is there too. So yeah, pretty cool. And then another Virgil. This one's running some Dino Fests. If you're in JP, you have that. In English, we don't. But yeah, again, as you can see, the Virgils really haven't changed at all. So probably not going to look too deep into these. And then another Bab Saga. So this one does have changes from before. This is not just a add in some old cards and call it a day. It is running 2 Ars Virina. And this is just there so you can kind of tutor out the trick moons. But that's kind of it. That's kind of it. Nothing really else with the deck. You still have your Kick Shanties. No Semites, I guess. Running 4 Cindy's as well. I guess having 4 Cindy's is pretty important just because you have a lot more princes around. But at least being a retire-based deck in this format is also pretty important, just so you can't just let all these other decks get away from building a board for free. And then another Youth Bag, same deal, but this guy decided to go, hey, you know, I mean, Edenvade's good, but I still want to run more pile, so he just ran the old stuff too. Also, one of the old defending orders, the heal one, that calls all the heals in. So, interesting. And then the Clear Light again, so Clear Light with the new line, full new line, and then some of the energy cycles too. So, okay. And then one random Ava popped out of nowhere. So, added in just for visibility. But yeah, running the new monster. Is it generic? Is it the generic? It's the monster T-Felt. But you have the old Ava stuff that you ran before. Also, grade 1 Combine Rusher. That's cool. No Elder Ref, ran red OT instead. And yeah, all your defensive stuff. Pretty cool. Freezing Wave. And lastly was a Leonorn. So we haven't seen much Leonorn in WGP Tokyo. This is the first one. This is not a Leonorn that you'd expect, right? This is pure Torment. None of the grade 1 dog order. I think it's Silver White. None of that order. It just went, I guess, would you call it full consistency? But yeah, it just, I guess you just build a board as quickly as possible, rush with it, and then just go into Torment, and Torment just makes an extra Vanguard attack, and then an extra Rearguard attack, and yeah, that's kind of it, right? That's kind of it. You don't have any Vivaces or anything like that. You're just relying pure on Torment. I guess with the second skill, because you don't have extra Leonorns, do you even use it that much? If you have extras, sure, but like you probably want to save one for Persona Ride, right? I guess you can just use it immediately when you ride up to grade 3 going second, so you get some extra pressure. But apart from that, it's a bit like, yeah, is it strong enough? I feel like the devastating power of the old Leonorns is that you could just make front lines insanely big, but this one is just like 1 card restand, and your Vanguard restands, that's kind of it. So I don't know. I'm not running any of the new grade 2 Rosarium Fairy though, just like because I guess with Torment you don't really need to copy that much, and it's not like you're copying things that are that big anyway. So I don't know. I guess it's interesting to see how the Torment builds have been. So that's kind of all of WGP Tokyo. There is the Ultimate Cup that happened as well with the new format that we can quickly check. This happened, I think, on, was it the Saturday? Because WGP Tokyo was like Sunday, Sunday and Monday, right? Sunday and Monday, which is weird timing. But yeah, Ultimate Cup. This was teams based, but you can kind of have a quick look here. It's all VG Paradox, but some of the interesting decks we'll just kind of highlight here. So there were a lot more Leonorns that were at the event. This one is the Vivace, running Vivaces and Tromens. Big heavy emphasis on Tromens. But I guess, you know, you're running these extra Leonons. You can like Persona Ride. You can use them for like just boost fodder or something like that. Also running the new grade 2, right? But none of the order. So you don't really have a big buff, super buff. I mean, back row to copy. You'll have a buff back row, but you won't have super buff back row. But yeah, you just have a lot of the basically 7 Rosarum fairies copying power. And I guess like 20k, getting a trigger 30k might be good enough. Let's go full consistency, right? And then we also have more youths. Youths, I guess, were pretty much the same that we've kind of seen before. Just put in the new replacements. And then also a Dredjewel. So this was like I think also the first or second place team. But yeah, Dredjewel Magnus. It's kind of a hybrid, I guess. It's kind of a hybrid. What is something you can? All these grade 3 and high cards in this deck, man. Look at this, crazy, right? Crazy. And then the Fern, another Fern list. It looks like Fern is the best choice, best for the free reign collab. And then also another youth bag. This one is running only. No, he's got the 4 Ian Raids. Also got the 4 teeth felts. This is just this free reign is a teeth felt, pretty much. And then the rest of it is just as you'd expect. A Leonon, another Leonon. So this one again a hybrid Vivace build. This one again still no order. We're not seeing any of the order here, but we got things like, yeah, still got the 8 Rosarum fairies and just kind of going, I guess, full consistency. Another one, this one's Pure Torment. Similar to what we saw in the WGP one. No, only 4 Rosarum fairy because that's pretty much enough, but looks like just rush and go face, and then just kind of be fast, right? Be like Bruce Lee, be like water, be fast. Another Bav Saga here. So this Bav Saga, I haven't seen this grade 2 in a very, very long time. Okay, but this is one that's not running any Ars Arena. It's post ban, so it's no Ars Arena. It's a bit, how do you say it? Like I don't know. Like it's the deck can definitely function with 1 Trick Boon. Let's put it like that. But it'd be nice to see more techs, but it'll probably take a while for those to be fully developed. And then also another Clear Light. This one is running some Laser Tage and some one Melting Heart. But yeah, running New Order and the rest of the core. Also another Youth Bag, again, similar thing to what we've seen before. And then we have another Leonon. So this is a 1 Tromen. Like 1 Tromen's a bit weird. But this is the only Leonon so far we've seen them run the Silver White order. But I feel like you kind of want to run it with like with a non-Tromen build just because you get more of your rear guard attacks. But this is running like 7 Rosarum fairies and all that. So yeah, if the only one running this is pretty surprising, right? It's pretty surprising. But I'm sure all the Leonon players will be testing their brains out on what they want to run. And to be fair, like things like a WGP, you have to be more consistent. You have to make sure your deck is more consistent. So maybe if you feel like this is an inconsistent build, then you're looking at something else. And then lastly, we do have another youth bag, but we all know actually we don't know what all the youth bags have been looking like, because this one's running lag range, and this one doesn't have any of the new cards. So it is what it is. Sometimes you just don't have the money to buy the new cards. So that's pretty much it. That's all the new lists so far, all the new metas, all the new format, what it looks like, a quick rundown. Pretty interesting. I'd like to see how much people innovate into it, because there's been a lot of how do you say it? You know, just text and interesting stuff. Definitely way better than the Bav Saga Virgila format that we've been having for the last X WGPs. Okay, so definitely was interesting to see what's been going on. And even if, like, for example, like the Chris Rain build that people have been talking about, even the one-offs have been a really cool to see, you know. So that's it for me. Let me know your favorite deck in the comments below. Which one of the new stuff is cool, or even the old ones. And I'll see you guys next time, right? Will be probably VG Top decks. Bye.